Alright, ladies and gents, welcome back to another episode of After Credits. Another solo episode with me, and I decided to watch the new Denzel Washington movie, Roman J Israel Esquire. It's directed by Dan Gilroy, the man behind Nightcrawler, one of the best, most disturbing, yet thought-provoking thrillers of the past decade. And in Roman J Israel Esquire, Denzel plays a lawyer who's down on his luck. Down on his luck is one way to put it. You could also argue that he kind of brings it upon himself. He's this brilliant mind who's able to memorize so many facts and laws and shit, but his ego always gets in the way, and he's always kind of socially awkward, and that usually ruins his relationships with people and therefore his opportunities. His partner dies, and he has to deal with the ramifications of the failing law firm that he works for. Colin Farrell comes in as the leader of another law firm that's, I guess, trying to swallow his law firm up. And then it's just Denzel dealing with stuff. If you follow me on Twitter, at Royal Screw-Ups, by the way, if you want to follow me on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, I talked about this movie saying that following Nightcrawler with Roman J Israel Esquire is like following Empire Strikes Back with The Phantom Menace. This is one of the most bafflingly bad movies I've seen all year. To where just nothing makes sense about it. The acting, the direction, the writing. Disappointing isn't really the right term for it, because disappointing means that there's a hint of what used to be there. If you would have told me that this guy directed Nightcrawler, I would have completely laughed in your face. It's like somebody stole Dan Gilroy's talent in order to win a film festival against the Looney Tunes. Because this shit is just so far removed from reality and what makes filmmaking great that it's just... There's parts of the movie where Denzel is definitely playing up this sort of goofy, almost Robin Williams-esque character, like the absent-minded professor, but at the same time we also have to buy him as this old revolutionary who fought for social justice and civil rights. And when you're pairing the odd shots of, like, he has his entire fridge stocked with peanut butter, what? When you have that mixed in with a rather rousing speech about social justice and protest and revolution, it just doesn't mix. This shit's 2 hours, and it's like the movie doesn't know where it wants to go, what it wants to do, and instead decides to pad out so many scenes with Denzel Washington just spewing nonsense. Even to the point where I think the other characters are self-aware of how much bullshit he's spewing, and they look at him like he's crazy, but that still doesn't make the movie good. I really wish I could get into Dan Gilroy's mind. I don't know if the studio took it away from him. I don't know if Denzel demanded some more eccentric sides of the character than were necessarily there. But this is kind of a movie that, you know, my comparison is probably to, like, the Book of Henry. Just some shit that, you know, with some sort of focus, could kind of work. You're dealing with an eccentric personality who's trying to change the system of law. It basically is a late 90s Robin Williams piece, but then it throws in these thriller elements about him trying to fight off some criminals, and there's one point where he goes into the desert like Walter White in Breaking Bad, and it all with just this nonsense. And it's not just in the storytelling too. Dan Gilroy will use these obnoxious sounds. There'll be a scene where he's talking with Carmen Ejogo and they're talking to the cops, and all throughout the dialogue it's being covered up by helicopter sounds, and the helicopters have never been seen in the shot at all. And I'm wondering, but why? Why is this all happening? Why does Denzel have to be standing in the desert and the camera constantly whips around his head and spins faster and faster? Why does the jazz have to randomly take over in the middle of the scene? Why is there a montage of him fucking going to the beach or getting suits? I don't get it. I really don't get it. It defies belief, people. Even the movie starts out with some idea about him being a hypocrite, so maybe you could argue the conflicting tone is to mix with that sort of hypocritical point of view. But if I understood anything about this character other than the accolades that everyone else throws at him, other than this unending exposition. This movie's 2 hours long, and I feel like I never stop hearing from other people how great Roman J Israel Esquire was. I don't care. Spoiling it really doesn't do it justice. You're just gonna get lost. So, if you're into bafflingly bad movies, if you wanted the art house version of the Book of Henry, I guess this is your bag? If not, man, this is a fat one for me. I fucking hated this. There was a part where I went to the bathroom and I just stood outside the door for a couple minutes, got a couple texts and social media stuff out of the way just so I could kind of avoid the scenes happening. Just an utter array of pointlessness. It's not like Denzel's not trying, but I don't know what he's trying for. There's just things happening. You could argue the Mad Libs of movies. You can put whatever metaphor you want. It's just fucking bad. I guess if you like this video, like button, subscribe. We got social medias. I just needed to kind of get my thoughts out, because whew, this was a fucking doozy. Bye.